say it again. So, a new day, a new picture of what awaits us after finals week. And we're going to kind of be doing the same thing that we did yesterday, but we're going to be taking a completely different approach than the approach that we took yesterday. Okay, so don't worry, today's going to be a lot better. So, today is going to be the formula sheet day 1, because I understand like even the formula sheet wasn't that clear yesterday because I wasn't expecting everyone to be here yesterday, but we were. So, today's goals are just a little bit different than the goals that we had yesterday. So, can I please have Romaine read us out our goal 1?
Today's goals.
What is the first goal?
First goal.
Yes? What is it? Read it.
Correctly complete 7 questions.
Yeah, so this is, if you notice, we're going to do it correctly and they're going to be together. I have them graded for now, so there's a lot of confusion. And you guys told me about exactly what questions you wanted to work on. I could take it yesterday, so it was really amazing. Can I please have Joe read my our second goal?
Write any formulas required to solve question 4 to 11 in the formula sheet.
Good. So yesterday, I understand a lot of you didn't start the formula sheet because that was super unclear of what actually was your formula sheet. So I'm going to tell you now. Your blue paper is your formula sheet. You will hand that in, and I will turn back into your blue sheet every single day so you can add to it and add to it and add to it to get ready for the final. So, Brandon, what color is our formula sheet that you're going to be ready with?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, so it's the blue formula sheet. Sorry. So then our final goal is to do what? Patricia, read me my final goal. Check your understanding. Awesome. So it's also on questions 1 through 11. We're also going to check your understanding on questions 1 through 11. So that was super quick. Just a little thing. Another, I know some of you are asking yesterday, this is literally, Joe, last time for you with your seat. This is an example of what not to do on your formula sheet. I know that some of you weren't here yesterday. Make sure it's legible. Make sure neatness matters, and make sure that it does have your first and last name on that formula sheet. So right now, when we write our first and last names on a blue piece of paper, because that's one of the requirements of our formula sheet. Perfect. So while you're writing your name on the blue paper, I have a question. What is the formula sheet? So a formula sheet. Hey, Joe. So a formula sheet is a sheet of paper with formulas written on it of your choosing. And you're allowed to bring this blue paper in with you to take your final exam. So a formula sheet is basically a sheet of anything you want on it that you feel like will help you solve questions on your final. Yes? Pretty self-explanatory. Yes, okay. But you know, if you've never seen them before and I show you this confusing picture, it might look a little bit overwhelming, so it's totally understandable. So right now we have all of our first and last names on our blue sheets. And now quick, this is what we're going to do for the next 15 minutes. I'm going to complete 5 questions with you. 5 minutes, I do, you help, or just I do. 5 minutes, you do another question that looks almost exactly similar. So I'm going to teach 5 minutes, I'll review question, then 5 minutes you're going to do a question that has different numbers and a little bit different on your own. And I'm going to be using and selecting problems to do based on what feedback you guys gave me as you took it from yesterday. So, super quick, these are the expectations that we have. Can I please have Maria read the first expectation for the next 50 minutes? Perfect. Cell phone typos. I love that I don't see them out right now. Let's keep it up. All right, Brandon, can I have goal number 2?
Working diligently.
Perfect. What does diligently mean?
Quiet.
Quiet, okay. I'm looking for like a word. Begins with an F, but like I'll accept any word that reminds you of that word. Focus. Yes, focus. It's like your game face is on and you're like working on these problems, and like that's an expectation that we have. Like you can't just be silent, you have to be like fully engaged. Alright, last thing, Jonathan, I see you looking at the board. Can you read our last expectation for the next 50 minutes?
The one person should talk at a time, or level 1 voice advises to talk.
Good. So based on this, can someone tell me what is the level 1 voice based on my context clues? What's a level 1 voice? Is it really loud or is it really soft? It's our church voice. That was lovely. Okay. while I'm doing a 5 minutes of mini lesson. So, our winners from yesterday, Katharina, Dolly, Jasmine, and Brandon. I see 2 of these people are here today in class. You guys all received extra credit on your 2 lowest homeworks for following expectations perfectly yesterday, and we're going to do the same thing again today. You do those 4 expectations we just went over, you get bonus points. If you don't, you don't. And I can give those bonus points to anyone. So be engaged, stay off the cell phones, you guys got this. Alright, now that being said, I've talked for a really long time and I understand that, so let's quickly go over the key points. How are you going to be eligible to win bonus points on any assignment by the end of today? Just like how Brandon, Katharina, Jasmine, and Dolly did. Yeah?
We have to do expectations.
Perfect. You have to follow those expectations. And number 2, what is the reference sheet for? Joe, since you had a question about this before, what is this reference sheet for the blue sheet?
Excuse me,
You don't know?
What's the date?
Yes. Of course, we have 3 sheets here. Good, lovely. Alright, what is the reference sheet for? You know this, for formulas. This is actually really redundant and annoying, so we're just going to kind of skip this. But what must be on the reference sheet? All together. You guys do that. What must be on the reference sheet?
Formula.
Formulas. Okay, we're good. We got it. Formulas. Yeah, any formulas. So, we are going to start. I need everyone to turn. We are going to start. Patricia, there's one voice expectation. I know. So, we are going to. Everyone, please turn to this question in your notes. This is the first question we're going to go over for today.
Oh,
So
okay.
does everyone find this question? I need everyone to find this question now in their notes. Yes, you got it. Nice. All right. So, I'm going to give you about 15 more seconds to see that question open in the packet, that looks like this. So the expectation is that everyone has already started this problem. It's number 4 in the packet that looks like this. Okay, that's the first one that we're going to go over all together. I know that some of you, like for Desiree, I have Romaine that got this question cracked. So just hang tight. And if you want, we'll talk about what is really important that you pay attention because you're going to solve a question that looks just like this in a couple minutes. So everyone needs to be focused, okay? Yes, before you do this. Okay, we'll talk about it. Alright, so I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes and we are going to go in 3, 2, 1, and go. So this topic is on rearranging formulas. So this means when you rearrange a formula, you do not solve for a set number. So x isn't going to equal 3, x isn't going to equal 5. You're solving for, you're rearranging the formula. So you're going to have x, or whatever variable you're looking for, is equal to some equation. Okay? You're rearranging a formula. This is different than solving an equation. So let's get to work. As we discussed yesterday, this question, sample question, says solve for the following equation for variable w, but we went over this yesterday, it's supposed to say for variable x. So if you were in here yesterday, you didn't make that fraction, make sure that it's variable x. Now, the first thing that we do to rearrange the formula so that we have solved it for variable x, Desiree, in your own words, when I say solve the equation for variable x, what does that mean? It means something that begins with an I, the word I'm looking for, to get it alone. And no, isolate. Yes, we want to isolate the x variable. So this is the same thing. So I want everyone writing this is the same thing as isolating the x. So to solve for the x is the same thing. And now we're all writing this pencils in hand. Is the same thing as isolating the x variable. Alright, I see Patricia following expectations, Maria is following expectations, thank you, Joe. I have Lucia tracking me, showing that working diligently focused. Great. So we are going to isolate the x variable. So everyone underline the x variable in your pencil, with your pencil. Underline it, just the x. So how do I get, using my knowledge of solving one-step or multi-step equation, what's the you don't move coefficients first, you move constants first. So how do I get rid of a negative 8? I do the opposite, which is?
Add 8.
Everyone?
Add 8.
Add 8. So we go plus 8 on this side. We do the same thing to the
Okay.
add 8 to the other side. Now, on this side of the equation, can I please have Ignacio tell me what I am left with on the left side of my equation after I've added 8 to both sides?
C plus 3.
Z plus 3. So, after I add 8 to both sides, I have negative 5 plus 8 is positive 3. And therefore, I'm left with Z plus 3. And that's going to equal, can I tell me, after I cancel out the 8s on this side, what am I left with? 4 what?
X.
Beautiful. And you said that. I'm sorry. I heard you say that. I don't know why you didn't ask me to say that. Okay. Now, Patricia knows this because of what she talked about. But 4, that number 4 is a what? A coefficient. So how do I get rid of the coefficients when you able to isolate X? How do I get rid of the coefficient? I add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Oh, wait, no.
Divide. Because it's opposite multiplication.
Beautiful. Coefficient is a multiplied term. So to get rid of the coefficient of 4, which is multiplying, I do what Ignacio and Lucia said, and I divide. Don't multiply. So I divide this side of the equation by the coefficient, which is 4. Good. Thank you, Romaine. And then I do the same thing to the other side. The 4s cancel each other out because 4 divided by 4 is just 1. So those just cancel out. These cancel out.
So X equal to Z plus 3 over 4.
Perfect. So my final answer is X is equal to Z. Yep. Good. Romaine said it.
I just said that.
And you were right.
So, why do I know at this point of the equation that I'm done? What was my goal to solve for X? What did I really have to do?
Isolated.
Yeah, and it's X by itself.
Yeah.
So therefore, is X isolated?
Yes.
Yeah. And look, 14 seconds left. We have done this perfectly. So now I want everyone to go to this packet. I'm going to check your understanding for solving it on your own. So we're going to go to this next packet right here. Okay? And it is number 4. So this one's a little bit trickier. I mean, this one's a little bit tricky. I'm a little bit nervous, but we got this. It's number 4 on the new packet. I know, there's like 5 things. Okay. So I'm going to listen up. I'm going to set the timer. I'm going to circulate the room, and you have 5 minutes to work on this problem, and then we're just going to quickly go over it. It's going to be super quick and super simple. So, you are all now working on this problem. I'm going to hit start, and you are solving this equation for variable R. Okay? Get to work, and then it's A, B, C, or D multiple